If you are still confused between class and ID in HTML, then your styling will break, your layout may clash, or your JavaScript will fail. So in next few minutes, I'll show you exactly when to use class and when to use your ID. So again, this video will be the part of your HTML series, a key step in your journey to become a full stack web developer. And you can also find the handwritten notes for this video. The link would be simply in the description. And at the end of this video, you can expect some interview questions based on this topic. So let's jump into the differences between class and ID with some real life examples. And here I'll be using a bit of CSS, like basic CSS. To all those who haven't started with CSS, don't worry. You will got to know about them in this video. So suppose we have an H1 element with class 1. So now suppose if you want to change the color of this text class 1 to red, how you will do? You will simply pick this H1 like this and use a property color and change that to red. So the color of this got changed to red, not an issue. But suppose we have similar H1s as in your school also, you have different sections of the same class, maybe different houses. Suppose this is class 1A, this is 1B, this is 1C, and this is 1D. And you need to change the color of this class 1 to red, this to blue, this yellow, and this to green maybe. So now how you will do? If you simply pick this H1 element and try to change the color, you will see that all four of them will get the same color. You cannot do that with the element name. So now here ID comes into play. So what is ID? So IDs are unique identifiers. It means ID attribute is used to uniquely identify any element in the web page. So let me write it down for your preference. So let's give this H1 element ID, like simply ID attribute. And remember, you cannot start the ID name with a number. So suppose this is class 1A. So you will simply write 1A. And there is one more thing. You cannot give this same ID name to all the four elements. As IDs are unique identifiers, an ID must be unique for each element. It means one ID name should be applied to only one element in the web page. So let's give all the element some ID name, like 1B and 1C. Similarly, 1D. And now, how you will pick this element by ID? You will simply need to copy this exactly what you will write here. You need to pick that here. And the syntax of ID is hash. It means you need to have a hash symbol like this, then the ID name, the exact ID name, what you will write here. So we will pick 1A and simply style them like color red. Now you will see this red will be applied to this only. So similarly, we will pick this 1B in the same way and change the color of that to blue. And we will do the same for our other two elements. Like 1C and 1D. And the color of this two, yellow, and this to green. So now you will see each of the sections will get a different color to see. And on the other hand, we have class attribute. So what do you mean by the class attribute in HTML and what is the need of that? So now let's take the example of students. Previously in the ID, we have taken the example of different sections of the class. Now let's take the example of students. So suppose we have H1, suppose we have student 1, and similarly we have student 2, 3, and suppose these students are of class 1A, and similarly these students are of class 1B, and same for class 1C and for class 1D. Student 4, 5, and 6. Now suppose you want to have the student 1, 2, and 3 with the same color, like red for this 3, and maybe blue for this 3, and yellow for this, and green for this 3. Now the class attributes comes into play. Now also you cannot pick one element like H1 and give the same color. So suppose these are students of class 1A. Now you can give class, like you can use class attribute and give this name as class 1A, and as in the ID attribute, you can have only one unique ID for one HTML element, but in classes, you can have multiple HTML elements with same class name. It means you can have this same class name for student 2 and same for student 3. And similarly, you can have for 1B, same for this. Let me just write it down for all those students. For classes, we will use simply a dot, and the class name. If we select this class 1A and try to change the color of this, like this student, suppose these 3 students belong to class 1A. So these students must have red color. So we will pick them using the class name and assign them color as red. So you will see student 1 to 3 got red color. We can do similar thing with other 3 classes, like class 1B, color would be blue, and here for 1C, color would be yellow, and for the last one, color would be green. Now you will see all of them will get different colors. Now one can say that these students, these 3 belong to class 1A, these belong to class 1B, and these to 1C, and the last 3 students to 1D. So this was the use of class attribute. Now I hope you all understood about the ID and class attribute in HTML and their uses. So here I have the interview challenge for you. So the first question says, can two elements simply have the same ID in HTML? And what will happen if they do have? And the second question says, let's say here we have simply 3 divs and you need to style the second div, that is this one. Any styling, like any color change or anything. So simply it says how we will do. So comment your thoughts, and as you know, whoever will comment the answer first and will be the correct, I will simply pin that comment. So yes, that's it for this video. Hope you understood about the class an ID attribute in a much better way. So see you all in the next one. Till then, take care.